All right, Owen,
Definitely on.
and yeah, it is on.
Okay.
All right, Owen and Amy, I want to thank you guys for coming in today. I know that, your participation might not be voluntary, but I appreciate you coming in. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start out the session with what we call an outcome rating scale. So what this is this is just a scale, lowest here, right, highest here. So this is rating on your individual, interpersonally, socially, overall, just kind of how you're doing this week. So it just gives me a really good idea maybe of what we can talk about, what we can improve on, okay?
You mean with him or?
Just in
Not real
general,
life.
so for instance, if you're thinking about each other, then you might want to mark that as interpersonally, maybe even socially a little too, because work would be included there as well. But individually, just be how you feel yourself as a person, and that kind of thing. Just kind of let it guide you, see how you feel about it, and we can talk about it.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, perfect. We'll just skip on through that because we didn't really mark it. All right. So, who wants to start us off today?
Well, I mean, I think as manager, I should start off probably.
Okay, Amy, I see you're feeling a little what feelings about that.
Non-stop, so.
Okay.
I just say as much as needs to be said, I think. So I'm the manager at the local GameStop here, and in South Charlotte, and there's just been a lot of tension in the store because normally when I'm managing folks, like they're responsive and they have a good attitude, both with all employees and also with the customers. And in this case, we're dealing with someone who's just not having a good attitude, and it's been really, really difficult for me to manage that. And we've been told that if we don't resolve this issue, we could both lose our jobs.
Okay. So is it fair to say that both of you guys want to keep your jobs? That's important to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Amy, tell me a bit about what you think is going on.
I'm fine. He's got a bug up his butt about something. I don't know what it is.
She's always baiting me with things, saying things like that, trying to like gaslight me and make me feel crazy.
He's like so old. What does gaslight even mean?
Okay, so
See what I'm
what we're
saying?
going to do from here on is we're going to take turns and just kind of let each other say what needs to be said, and then we'll kind of shift over and we'll come back and forth. So what I really want to hear is kind of your experiences at work with the other, and then I'll check to see if that seems valid to the other, and then we'll move back. Does that sound good?
Whatever you say.
Okay. Well, Amy, do you want to start us off?
Oh, I'd love to start us off.
Okay.
Because as far as he is concerned, I can't do anything right.
Okay.
Ever. Nothing.
Just the
I
drama.
don't come in at the right time. My gosh, if I'm 5 seconds late because my watch is set differently than his, I'm late and I get marked up for it. If I talk too long to a customer, which is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be talking to them, keeping them in the store and helping them to look at things and consider buying them. Well, then I get in trouble for that because then I'm ignoring other customers.
When do I get to respond to these things?
Just give her just a minute to finish up, and then I'll come to you.
And, there are times when I need to be off work. I'm 19. I have a life outside of this job.
Okay.
And, gosh forbid that I ask for a change of schedule or anything like that because he just absolutely not. God, he's so old.
Old.
He's so
Okay.
old.
Okay. So for what I'm hearing from you is that you're frustrated, right? That
Yeah.
you can never do anything right.
Yeah, I can't do anything right. I can't have a life outside of work and I can't have a life inside of work because then I'm in trouble for talking to people too much.
Okay. So Owen, how does that sound accurate to you?
Like, look, I mean, like, I work at a GameStop, I'm used to working with teenagers, you know, so like, I do expect a certain level of professionalism, but I realize that I can't expect unrealistic levels of professionalism. But I swear to God, everything in this case, there's no sense of professionalism, and it just gets so frustrating.
Okay.
It's a
Frustrating.
game store. It's not an office. It's not like I have to wear a suit and tie to work.
She's calling me old, how professional is that? I mean, you just heard it.
Okay. So
You told me to be
what I'm
honest.
hearing from both of you is that you're both frustrated.
Yes,
Right?
Yeah.
Does that sound accurate?
Yeah.
bingo.
Okay.
Now, I don't like, she brings out the worst in me, and I don't
Mm.
like that.
Okay. So what does the worst in you look like?
You're seeing it, just frustrated, like at the end of my rope.
Okay. Amy, what about you?
I'm fine. I mean, the only problem I have at work is him. You know, my customers like me, people come back and they buy stuff for me each month when the new games come out. You know, I get along with everybody else. It's not me, it's him.
She doesn't like games.
I don't have to like games, I just have to sell games.
Okay. Does that feel productive for you guys?
I mean, I don't feel like we solved anything.
Okay. Amy?
Well, I feel better. I kinda like it.
You
Say
feel
what I
better,
wanna
but is it
say.
productive? Does it solve any problems?
It solves my problem of wanting to yell at him.
Okay.
But like, this is what she does in the store, right? She like, she ingratiates herself with customers and with her other employees and tries to undermine me and tries to get them to go against me.
Okay. That can be very frustrating, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, Amy, in the perfect world, what kind of manager would Ellen look like for you?
The invisible man.
Okay.
You know, I don't need a manager. I don't need somebody standing over me.
That's how she thinks.
I'm 19. I'm in college. I'm an adult. My gosh, I know how to drive a car and use a credit card and use a microwave and, you know, all those good sorts of things
Right, all of the
in
adult
life.
things, right?
All the adult things in life.
Mhm.
I don't need somebody standing over my shoulder and making sure that I sell games. I sell games. Okay, look at my numbers. My customers like me. I'm getting the job done. I don't need him
That's cool.
constantly watching me. So in my ideal world, he'd be in the back room doing his little managery thing, whatever that is, and staying
Derogatory.
out of my business.
Okay. So, Owen, how about
Yes.
you? In the perfect world, what kind of employee would Amy be?
Respect. That's it.
Okay. Can you define a little bit more?
You respect, yes, professionalism. When I make a request for you to do something, that you go do it. If without any commentary, not try to undermine me in front of other employees, not trying to undermine me in front of customers.
Okay.
Is that a good start?
Right. Yeah. I think that that's very good. Because I think a lot of times when you say frustrated or maybe professional, I think it can come across as a little vague. So I think it's important that we put kind of some qualifiers to that and what that might look like. I think that's a good step, especially for kind of holding somebody accountable and setting expectations.
Okay.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that, Amy, you would rather just not be managed at all. You feel like you perform best without management. Is that correct?
Just tell me what I need to get done during the day and leave me alone. I'll get it done. I manage my own life. I go to school, I take classes, I do my homework. My teachers aren't following me around all day making sure I get stuff done. Okay, I don't need him doing that. When I come into work, tell me what it is that you want done and then give me the space to go do it. But he's
I'll
not.
tell her that she needs to go do inventory. I'll tell her she needs to clean the toilet, and she thinks that she's better than that. She doesn't. She literally won't do that because she says her numbers are so good.
Okay. So when it sounds
What is it? I don't get what he wants from me. He wants me to be selling games so the company makes money, but then he wants me doing inventory and cleaning toilets. Well, I can't do them all at the same time.
No one's asking you to do it at the same time. I'm
You
just asking
are.
you to do it
Okay,
the
so
same-
what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a step back, take a couple seconds to breathe. I know we're very frustrated,
Yes.
so let's breathe for a second.
I can't afford to lose this job.
Okay,
I have a
well,
baby on the way.
the great thing is that you're here. So that's a good, at least first step, right? To keeping your jobs, both of you. Okay. So I know I
Family's
just,
rich. She doesn't have anything to lose if she loses this job. I have everything to lose.
okay, so is that productive for you?
Is what productive? Is that to me or to her?
To you? Does that feel productive to you?
That she doesn't, I'm terrified because she has nothing to lose to take me down.
Okay. Okay. So I was talking to Amy here, and she said that she feels best if she's not supervised. She feels she performs best. While Owen, you're saying that you feel that she just needs to show a little bit more respect. And as far as that goes, it's, you know, not undermining you, talking to you in a nicer way, things of that nature. Is that correct?
And do her fair share of the work.
Okay. Fair share of the work. Okay.
See, I can't win. He wants to keep his job, which means the company needs to stay in business, which means we need to be selling games.
Okay.
So if I'm selling games, then I'm not doing other things. I'm not doing other things, he says I'm not pulling my fair share.
Okay, so how about this? It seems like we're kind of stuck, right? So we're stuck at, you know, Owen, you want her to show more respect. Amy, you don't want to be managed. They seem like they can have something in common, right? What is the way that we can accomplish both of these goals? Owen, do you want
I think my requests are very reasonable.
to? Okay.
Do the same amount of work everyone else in the store does, and be respectful.
Okay. So say you both work tomorrow, right? Amy comes in tomorrow, right? And she shows up and she's doing the same
Late?
amount of
When
work.
she shows up late,
Nope. If she shows up on time, she's doing the same amount of work as everybody else, and she's not showing you any disrespect, and she's getting her numbers and everything she needs to do.
it's fine. That's good. I
Okay.
might die from a heart attack of shock, but other than that,
Okay. Okay. So hopefully you don't die of a heart attack, because that's our goal, right?
yeah,
Is to make sure that Amy's doing what she needs to do, right?
yes.
Okay. So, what does your management style look like if Amy shows up on time, does everything she needs to do, everything that is your goal? What does your management style look like
I
now?
mean, there are times, right? There are times if someone comes into the store and the diarrhea and it gets on the floor, that needs to be done right then.
Okay. Okay, so say, in this perfect world, Amy does it right then. She gets down on her
That's
hands
great.
and knees and scrubs. So what do you do? Is your management style any different than what it usually is?
If she did that,
Mhm.
I could try to, you know, I can try to be flexible. I mean, what would she want me to do?
That's a great question, Amy. So what if in this perfect world you do everything that Owen says that you need to be doing? What in your perfect world is he now doing in response?
Yeah, I don't know, because he never stops giving me stuff to do.
Okay.
So
Well, say-
I don't feel like that's
Okay.
even gonna happen.
Okay, so you don't feel that it's a possibility that he can even be more flexible?
No.
Okay.
Because it's like, no matter what I do now, there's always something else to do.
Okay.
So why work harder on doing extra stuff when the only thing it gets me is more stuff to do?
Okay. So, say, in your perfect world, that he does become more flexible. What does that look like for you?
He's just out of my space.
Okay.
God, I feel like every time I turn around, he's standing there. He's like staring at me and watching me and making
Been
sure
to
I'm
GameStop?
doing stuff.
Give me just a second. Okay.
You know, it's like just, gosh, if you're gonna give me something to do, just give me the space to do it.
Okay.
So my perfect world would not have him in my world.
Okay. So that's interesting that you said that, though, that it's different that he gives you stuff to do, but it's a matter of being in your space.
He's in my space all the time.
Okay. So say if he wasn't in your space, would you feel more comfortable doing things?
Yeah, because then it's like a vulture staring at me or something all the time. It's just like waiting for me to do something wrong that he can jump on me for.
Okay. So it sounds like it's not necessarily his wanting you to do things as it is he doesn't trust you. Does that sound accurate?
It's like he doesn't trust me to do it right. It's like I feel like he's constantly watching me to be able, just so he can go, see, gotcha, I knew you weren't gonna do it right, I knew you were gonna screw up again.
Okay.
He just wants to get me fired so that he can keep his job.
I can't
That's
fire
why-
her. As
that's
long
why I
as the numbers
keep-
are as good as they are, my boss won't let me fire her.
See, that's not right. I've got great numbers,
Mhm.
but that's not right.
Okay.
So
So-
there isn't anything I can do that's right or that will ever make him happy.
Okay. So that statement that you said, that he is trying to get you fired, seems a little extreme. Do you mind if we check in with Owen, see if he feels the same way?
Sure.
Owen, is that
I
accurate?
can't, I mean, I'm being honest, I can't fire her. My boss
Okay.
says that if I don't figure out a way to get along with her, my job is gone. That's not an option for me. I'm
Okay,
not
well,
stupid.
so say it was an option for you.
Yeah,
So
I'd
you-
fire her.
Okay. Now, is it an accurate statement that you're going through all this to get her fired?
What?
Is it an accurate statement that you're going through this to get her
No,
fired?
I'm about to lose my job. I'm like, if I lose my job, I'm not gonna have a good, reference.
Okay.
Why would I wanna do that? It makes no sense.
So, Amy, does that sound, I mean, it seems, does that sound accurate to you?
That if he gets fired, he won't have a good reference?
Well, that he's not doing all of this to get you fired.
Well, he's certainly not doing it out of the kindness of his heart. I mean, if he's not trying to get me fired, then why does he ride me the way he does?
Okay. Owen, why do you?
Because she's constantly trying to undermine me, bring down the morale of people, and embarrass me in front of the customers.
Okay. Was that a good answer for you?
That's his answer.
Mm-hmm.
That's not me.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I'm sorry, but he's the old person in the store.
Okay.
The rest of us, you know, we
27 years old.
we like to joke and laugh, and we laugh with the customers, and we laugh with each other, and you know, we all get our work done.
Yeah.
You know, our jobs are important to us too. I have to pay my tuition. You know,
Yeah,
he's got a
she's-
baby coming. I've got a tuition payment coming.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna
So-
graduate in 2 years and go to law school or whatever, and you're never gonna look back down at us ever again.
Okay, so though it's fair to say that both of you have interests in keeping your jobs, right? You don't both want to lose them.
I do not want to lose my job.
Okay. So
That's why I'm
what
here.
I would like to do is brainstorm ways that we can meet in the middle. Right?
All right.
Owen, does that, I mean,
Sure, I mean, I want to figure out a solution.
great. Amy, you want to figure out a solution as well, right?
I, you know,
I have
despite
to.
what he
I
thinks,
need to.
I need my job too.
Okay. So then what I want to start doing, because I noticed that when you talk about yourselves, you have to give a dig at the other, even though the question is pointed at you as an individual. So what I'd like to do is when I ask a question, I would like both of you to use your I statements, right? So rather than say something mean or degrading about the other, talk about you and how you feel. Does that sound okay?
Okay.
Alright.
All right. Perfect. So Owen,
Yes.
how are you feeling?
Anxious.
Okay, tell me more.
I don't feel like this is gonna work. I feel like I'm losing my job, but I want to make it work.
Okay. So now, say you were sitting in the room with yourself as well, right?
I'm sitting in the room by myself with
No.
this one?
Yeah, with another you, okay?
Oh, okay.
Imagine how invested you are in keeping your job.
Very, very, very invested.
Okay, that other person sitting with you is also very, very invested, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Amy, picture you sitting alone in your room, in a room with yourself, another person, you. How invested are you in keeping your job?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, imagine that other person is also very invested, right?
Mhm.
Is equally. So you are both equally invested in keeping your jobs, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so we can be anxious about the outcomes, but we need to have hope that it's going to work,
Yeah. Okay.
okay?
Okay.
Okay, so let's brainstorm some ideas. Where can we meet in the middle? So Matt, Owen, in what situation, tell me what Amy looks like so that you don't have to be on her as often and in her space.
Store is the size of a fire engine. I mean, I don't understand. What do you mean by being in her space? I mean, I don't
Yeah,
understand.
that's a great question, actually. Amy, would you like to clarify in your space? Does that mean physical space?
Yeah, like when I'm talking to a customer and showing him a game or something like that, he'll come over and interrupt to tell me to go do inventory or, you know, you've got other customers waiting. I mean, it's like, I'm trying to make a sale. And he
Okay.
gets all up in the transaction and messes things up for me.
That is not typical. I mean, she is a good salesperson. Like, why would I do that? I mean, it makes no sense.
Okay, so then let's talk physical space, right? So the store is small. What is a good amount of physical space for you, Amy? What does that look like? I know you said that it's also him coming over and interrupting and doing whatever, but physical space. What can we do about physical space?
You give him half the store and I'll take the other half.
Okay. Owen, is that realistic?
I mean, if that's, I mean, it's possible potentially. Actually,
Okay. Okay.
we could, you know, we'd have to obviously
Figure it out.
figure some stuff out.
Right. Okay. So physical space, great.
See, like,
Possibly.
I'm reasonable.
Great. So we're flexible and we're listening and we're hopeful, right?
Yep.
Okay. So physical space, possible to help that, right? Dividing the store up. Now, what else would Amy be doing, Owen, for you to kind of back off?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. What does Amy need to be doing for you to back off her?
I'll back off. I mean, all I need her to do is be respectful and not roll her eyes or talk about me being too old. And, you know, just
Okay.
treat me the way the other employees treat me.
Okay, so it sounds like you just want her to treat you
Professionally.
professionally. Okay. Okay. Amy, what do you think? Professionally.
He doesn't treat me that way.
Okay, well, We're talking about ways in which he can. So he feels that he can treat you that way if you treat him more professionally. What do you think?
Whatever.
How much more time do we have? Because I have an idea.
Okay, you have an idea. Let's hear it.
How much time do we have?
Got about 15 minutes.
I mean, is this like the only session we get, or how's this work?
No, so to my understanding, your employer, the ones that contacted my company, you've got about a month. So meeting twice a week, 8 sessions or so, approximately.
I mean, honestly, if she would just treat me professionally, like, and if I gave her half the store, I mean, I feel like that'd be a good first,
Good
first step.
Okay. Amy, does that sound okay to you? I mean, treating each other professionally, giving half the store so you don't have to be in close proximity.
I don't get what he means when he says to treat him professionally.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of like, why bother? Because
okay.
nothing I do is right.
Okay.
And so it's a, I mean, what does he want? He wants me to call him sir and
Well, that's a
sort of
really good
thing.
question.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like,
Why don't we ask Owen what specifically he means by professional? Does that, would that help clarify for you?
well,
If we could get an accurate
If-
idea of what that means?
yeah, and if I do it, then he acknowledges that I'm doing something right.
Okay, so maybe a little bit of affirmation as well, right? So when you do something right, you want him to say, good job, thank you for doing whatever it is right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Owen, if you don't mind, define for us professional. What does that look like in your workplace?
Be on time.
Okay.
Don't talk back about like how the request I'm making is not needed, and don't roll your eyes, and don't talk about me behind my back to the other employees. And those are first things that come to mind.
Okay, I think that's a really good start. And as you can think of more things, feel free to interject, let us know so that we can continue to monitor and make sure that we can get Amy to agree. Does that sound fair? Okay, so Amy, being on time, not talking about him behind his back, don't roll your eyes, that sort of thing. Does that sound manageable?
I don't know what he means by be on time.
Okay, so Owen, on time. What does that
Clock
mean?
in after 8 o'clock. Don't do that. There was the last one there, the first one gone.
Okay.
4 hours.
Okay.
She's supposed to.
Amy, you feel a certain way?
I was late once.
Okay.
I was late once.
Okay.
I know how to show up places on time.
How about
And,
I just
I mean,
bring
I
in
do something
records and
once,
stuff?
and it's with him. It's like she always does this.
Okay, so maybe a little generalization. Maybe a little bit of generalization, do you think?
Means he does it all the time.
Well, no, he's taking one action and saying you do it all the time.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's it.
Okay. Owen, do you feel that that's an accurate?
How about next time I just bring in like a list of what time she clocks in?
If you feel that's productive?
Well, it sounds like there's a disagreement on how often it happens.
Okay. Yeah, so why don't we do that then? Why don't we bring a report of both of you guys? Clock in, clock out times. How many times you've been late, how many times early?
You
That's
need me to
okay.
bring mine in?
Sure, why not, right? If we're comparing one, we should compare both, right?
I mean, if I have to treat him professionally, doesn't he have to do the same to me?
I should.
Okay, so there's an agreement that both of you should be treating each other professionally,
Yes.
correct? Okay, so we've heard a lot from Owen about what professionalism means to him. Amy, what about you?
Don't yell at me in front of customers.
Okay.
You know, if you need me to do something and I'm busy with somebody, then just wait. I'll finish. As soon as I finish the sale, you can come tell me to clean the toilet or whatever. If it needs to be done right away, I'm not the only employee there. If I'm busy with the customer, then have somebody else do it.
I don't yell at anyone else.
Okay, so then is it fair for you to yell at Amy?
I should never yell at anyone.
So not yelling, allowing her to kind of finish what she's doing, unless obviously the matter is very urgent and nobody else can do it. Do those sound fair, Owen?
I think if there is a professional demeanor maintained by both of us, then there would be no issue with me yelling at anyone.
Okay, so you feel that this idea of professionalism hinges on how she interacts with you.
I think things are so bad and extreme between us, it brings out the worst in both of us.
Okay,
It's my fault that he yells at me.
well, I think he makes a good point. He said that the way that both of you interact with each other brings out the worst in both of you. Does that sound accurate, Amy?
He also said that if I behaved myself, then he wouldn't have to yell at me.
Sure, he said that. We can address that. But does it sound accurate that both of you are responsible for your own and both of your behaviors?
God, you sound like my parents.
Okay.
Yes, I am responsible for my behavior.
Okay.
And yes, I do a good job.
Okay.
And yes, he yells at me unnecessarily.
Okay. And I think Owen has taken responsibility for yelling unnecessarily. Do you feel that? Or would you like us to go back and?
I think he said that he does it. I haven't heard
Okay.
him say he's going to
Sure.
stop.
Owen, can we get some kind of commitment from you to stop yelling?
If I don't stop, I get fired.
So, I would think that's a pretty good incentive.
That's right.
Okay, so can we get a commitment?
I will commit to doing my best not to yell, yes.
Okay, great. Does that sound, I know he said my best, but, you know, doing his best is better than not trying at all, right?
Only if he recognizes that when I'm doing my best, it's better than not trying at all.
Okay, that's fair. Owen?
Yeah, I mean, I think if she tries to do her best, I think that will be enough.
Okay, so now there's a lot of talk of doing our best. How do we define doing our best? Because, you know.
Effort.
Okay, great. How do we see effort? What are we going to use to measure it? Because we can say do our best all day long.
Show up on time, be professional.
Okay, and what happens if there's a mistake?
I mean, a few mistakes. I'm working with 20-year-olds. Like, I
And that's,
expect
so that's
mistakes.
great. Hold on to that. You expect mistakes, right? We need to qualify how many mistakes and the frequency at which they occur. Because we have this idea of doing our best. How do we define that?
I define doing my best as keeping my sales numbers where they're supposed to be.
That's how she
Okay.
does define it.
Okay, so and that's great. So from what I'm hearing from both of you is that you do meet your numbers. Is that correct?
Everyone agrees she hits her numbers. There's no disputing that.
Great. So that's trying your best. Now, what if trying your best also included showing up on time? Also included, you know, doing things when you're asked, that sort of thing. What does that look like?
Okay, well, I think we're gonna have to get the time cards out, because I just don't get this.
That's totally
I just don't
fine.
get this showing up on time thing.
Okay.
But as far as the other stuff, I mean, I think doing my best is
Mhm.
going in there and making great sales,
Okay,
because that's how the business makes money and that's how I get my paycheck. So
At least
if
we
that's,
see it
if
the
he
same
wants,
way.
if he wants me to be the best toilet cleaner, then that means I'm gonna be in the back room and I'm not gonna be out there with the customers.
okay, so.
So, and he wants to keep his job,
Okay,
you know, do you want me out there making sales or do you want me back there cleaning the toilets?
so I think what we need to do is broaden our definitions of what is doing our
Yes.
best.
Yes.
For both of us. So, since Amy, you've been under the gun for a little while now, we'll move to Owen, we'll come back to you, okay?
Yeah.
So Owen, expanding our definitions of trying our best.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, say that Amy is late, right? How many times is she allowed to be late before she is no longer trying her best? And in what frame of time? So how many times within a week is she allowed to be late, or within a month is she allowed to be late?
Once, right? I mean, a week, then like that's.
Okay, we
Tells
can
you-
expand it
How
more.
many times are you working next week? You working all 5 days? All 6 days?
How about a month? We can do that. Typically, companies have a policy about you can be late no more than 3 times within a quarter or whatever, so we'll do it to a month,
Okay.
right? So say you work even 3 days a week, you know, that's 9 to 12 times a month, right? So how many times is she allowed to be late in a month? With a valid
This
excuse.
month, like 3's fine with me.
Within a month.
3 times, including lunch and all that. Honestly,
sure.
if she did it 3 times, that would be a massive improvement.
Okay, so 3 times total, correct?
Yeah,
Okay, so Amy,
that
Times
includes
being-
lunch and
yeah,
breaks.
any
and
sort of
all
breaks,
that.
any time that Amy needs to clock in, we're counting 3 times late, correct?
Yeah, isn't that reasonable?
I don't know. Amy, does that sound reasonable? 3 times late in a month?
And the policy is twice in a 3-month, I think.
Okay, so, so if
Even a
we're
bonus.
expanding our definitions of,
Oh, that's right. All right,
Yeah.
fair enough.
so yeah, so this is your definition for Amy to meet, if that sounds fair. 3 times a month, what do you think?
I wanna know how late is late,
See?
cause I
Yeah,
mean,
that's a great question.
I mean,
Let's
if I
define that.
go-
Owen,
I
how
mean, am I
is
late if I go by my watch and it says, my watch says 12:59 and the clock says
That's a good
1:01?
question.
Am I
Owen,
late?
what is late for you? Let's define that so we can be very specific.
Official time as defined by the Dow Jones Industrial Average, Wall Street.
Okay, can we simplify that a little bit? So you say, for instance, you work at, well, you do work at GameStop, right? So is there some sort of clock that maybe she can go by instead of?
Yeah, but I mean, she's got an iPhone, like it's the time that Apple sets to, you know.
Okay, so whatever time is generally used, what is that? Like, is that work clock or?
The work clock is timed out exactly to what the iPhone is.
Okay, so can we just simplify it by saying the work
Work
clock?
clock,
Does that
that's fine
sound?
with me, that's fine.
Sounds good. Okay, so late in comparison to what the work clock says, not your watch, not your phone, whatever it is, the work clock. Late 3 times a month.
So 1 minute over is late.
That is late. Does it sound fair to you?
I'll take 5 times.
Okay, so I'm not quite sure if we are here to barter. 3 times.
I mean, sometimes I come back from lunch, it's the mall. You know, you can't find a
Mhm.
parking space, even if I'm trying to be on time. Is it my fault that I get back and,
This is,
You know-
by the way, what happens every time I ask you to do anything.
Okay, so Owen has said 3 times. How do you feel about 3 times? We're trying to meet him
alright.
3 times. Okay,
But you
So-
can't be standing at the time clock,
okay,
waiting
That's
for me.
fair.
And
okay.
Fine.
Does that sound okay to you?
Fine,
Owen?
fine.
Okay. Well, even though begrudgingly, it sounds like we've made at least one compromise, right? Does that sound accurate to both of you?
More than I expected. Yeah,
Okay,
good.
does that sound okay?
See, he's still not happy.
No, I
It's still
am.
not good enough.
No, it is. So, I mean, it's a good start. A really good start.
So, in efforts to both keep our jobs, what do you think? We've made one compromise, can we do more?
I think he needs to do something.
Okay, that's great, we can definitely move
So
on to that.
because I'm gonna lose my job if I'm late more than 3 times, but he doesn't
Okay.
lose his job if he's
Perfect.
standing at the time clock waiting
We
for
can come up with more in the next session. We're running a little short on time now. But yeah, does it feel good though that we've made a compromise? And say next session we come in, he makes a compromise. Does that sound okay? Does
That
that
would,
feel good?
Yeah.
Okay.
because
perfect.
I'm not gonna be the only one that compromises.
Right, of course not. That would be unfair.
If she comes in 3 times, I will be in the mood to compromise.
Okay, perfect. So if you come in, he's gonna compromise. We'll hold you to that, Owen, okay? You said it. Does that sound good, Amy?
Whatever.
A little begrudgingly, but are you hopeful for change?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay, perfect. So I know tensions ran a little high today, but kind of what I would like to do as we're running a little short on time, I would like to go ahead and hand you this session rating scale. So basically what this is similarly before, this is low end is least amount, high end, highest amount, right? So this is not rating you individually or you each other, this is rating our relationship, right? How do you feel that I'm doing, right? So our relationship, our goals and topics, approach or method, and how you're feeling overall with me as your mediator therapist. Sound great? Fill it out, let me know what you think, and we can talk about it next session. Perfect. Thank you. Well, thank you both for coming in today. I really appreciate it. Next time we'll go to Owen and get some compromises for him, okay?
The holiday party.
I don't. The receptionist, Jerry, right out there, she does. Okay. Perfect, thank you.
All right. Ooh.